And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. These are the words of Jesus from Matthew 5, verses 3 to 11. Today I'm focusing on verse 11. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you. Let me share this story. From about the time my brother was out of the crib until I moved out of my parents' home, my brother and I shared a room. My brother is 2 years younger. Now generally this was not a problem. We occasionally didn't get along, but for the most part we played together and coexisted well. And no, you're not allowed to fact check that statement with my parents. As was the general routine in our house, Saturdays were often a day to clean. Being active boys, some Saturdays it was an all-day job to get that room cleaned up. One of these times, I would have been about 10, 11 years old. Now, at the time, we're living in Hamilton in a 2-story townhouse. Our room was at the back of the house, and with a window that looked over the playground that was the center of the townhouses. We had bunk beds, but during this particular period, they were not stacked, and we had our beds each pushed against the back wall on either side of the window. We each had a dresser at the end of the bed, and the wall opposite the window had a closet. The door coming into the room opened to the left beside the closet. Now, I don't recall how long we had been cleaning this particular Saturday, but we got the room looking perfect. It was awesome. Each of our dressers were cleaned off, except for a couple important keepsakes, a picture or something, but neatly arranged. Our beds were made, the blankets tucked tight under the mattress. We didn't try, but I'm sure we could have bounced a quarter off the bed. The floor had been swept and was clean enough you could eat off it. I wouldn't recommend that because there were boys living in that room. The closet had the left side door open because we had an old TV in it with a Nintendo NES hooked up. This side of the closet was my brother's, and you could see above the TV his clothes neatly hung and arranged. The right side of the closet was mine, and the door was closed. This room looked perfect. Sometime later, Mom comes into the room. What's going on in here? Now remember, the room is clean. We are done. I'm lying on my bed, reading, probably the Bible, and I look up and respond, Hello, Mother. We have finished our designated task, and I am taking a short break before coming to see if there are other ways I can contribute to the chores of our home. At this response, Mom gets that look in her eye, and I don't like it. I know something is not going to go my way. And she says, Let's have a look in the closet. Oh no, Mom. You don't need to open that door. You can see everything is neatly arranged. She rarely listened to me in this situation. And in a quick moment of motherly super speed, the other side of the closet door was opened, and stacked up were the clean clothes we hadn't hung up or put away, mixed in with a few other odds and ends. Now the look had gone from one I don't like to one I really don't like. Then she asks, What's under the bed? Again with super speed, she's crossed the room, reached under the bed, and with one sweep of her arm. To this day, I do not know how she was able to do this with one sweep, but everything from under the bed, clothes, books, toys, now in the open. I would love to tell you this happened only once, but as was her way, she would move everything from under the bed, in the closet, to the middle of the room, which would drive me crazy and say, Keep going. In this moment, I have never felt so persecuted. That's not what this verse is about. Okay. I was driving down McCarthy last week, and a car pulls out from Rink right in front of me. I honked my horn to let him know I was there, and he starts suggesting... That's not what this is about either. Read it again. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you. Read it one more time. This time the whole verse. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Falsely on my account. One of my friends will remind me, we often go to the Bible to prove our own theology or prove our own rightness, instead of using the Bible to give us our theology and to determine what is right. And I think this verse is one of those verses where we use it out of context and use for our own benefit to justify our own bad behavior. In my lifetime, I've had plenty of people revile me, utter evil my way, to my embarrassment. I usually deserved it. Usually it was in response to some evil I already did, dishonesty, scheming, or just a general lack of care for other people. That's not how Jesus wants me to live. Also, to my embarrassment, I cannot think of one instance where I had others revile and persecute me on account of Jesus. The people around me know that I go to church. They know that I love Jesus. But I have been careful, maybe too safe, and not put myself in a situation where my choice to stand up may cost a lot. Now, please don't misunderstand. I'm not ashamed of Jesus. But have I stood in the gap and stood up for the issues that would matter to him? Against abortion, against racism? Do I help those who need help? Yes, I do speak to things, but carefully, sometimes knowing my audience, and not in a way where this verse applies to my life. One more thing I want to share before I wrap up. I recently heard a teaching on the Beatitudes, and the person in the podcast talked about how blessed in these verses could also mean happy. And that made me feel good. I like this idea. But as I spent time with this concept, I'm not sure that happy gives proper due or proper weight to these verses. Yes, I can be happy that because of Jesus someone is speaking falsely about me. But happiness fades. Having good fortune makes me happy. Being happy is temporary. But being blessed, having divine aid, having Jesus provide protection is way better than feeling happy. Knowing that I am on side with the triune God who is sovereign over all, I am blessed. I would be honored to hear your stories. Your stories of how this verse has applied to you and how you have been blessed on his account. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace.